Hello everyone, Jolene here from Bookworm Adventure Girl. Welcome back, and if you are new, thanks for checking out my channel. Please hit subscribe and stick around. Today I am doing another author spotlight as part of the Reading All the Books series. And for this series I feature an author that has published 4 or more books, and I have to have read all of their books or all of a category of their books. So for example, all of their fiction or all of their nonfiction. And today I am highlighting one of my all-time favorite authors, Lisa Genova. I have mentioned Lisa Genova many times on my channel, and I have read all 6 of the books that she has published. So I am going to share my thoughts on these from least enjoyed to most enjoyed. Now with Lisa Genova, this is kind of tricky because I have enjoyed all of her books. I have rated them all 4 or 5 stars. That being said, I've had to put them in some order, so this is the order that works for today. Lisa Genova is an American author, and she is also a neuroscientist. This combo is what makes her one of my favorite authors, because her knowledge of neuroscience it's matched perfectly with her ability to create memorable characters and stories that are relatable. So I am going to start with Lisa Genova's most recent book and her only nonfiction so far, and that is Remember, The Science of Memory and the Art of Forgetting. This was published in 2021, and this book makes perfect sense for a neuroscientist to write. The topic on, why we forget things and why we remember certain things. This is really intriguing to me. And Genova asks questions like, why can we remember an experience from 10, 20, 30 years ago? And why can I tell you what I had for dessert this evening, but I can't tell you what I had, for dinner a month ago? So our memories and how our brains work is very complex, and Lisa Genova helps us understand it better. The rest of Lisa Genova's books are fiction, and each one takes on a neuroscientific topic. So next I am going to talk about Love, Antony. This was published in 2012, and the topic in this book is autism. This story takes place on Nantucket, and the 2 main characters are Olivia and Beth. And when they meet, they are both dealing with great loss. Olivia's son had autism and died at the age of 8, and Beth has separated from her husband and has 3 children that she's still taking care of. So these women form a bond, and their friendship offers them both consolation and healing. These next 4 books were all 5-star reads for me, and the first is Inside the OBriens, which was published in 2015, and the topic of this one is Huntington's disease. The main character in this one is Joe O'Brien. He is a husband, a father of 4, and a police officer. And Joe begins to kind of forget things, and he acts differently. And after kind of dismissing those things and everything that's happening, and he kind of chalks it up to, other things that are going on in his life and his career, eventually Joe is diagnosed with Huntington's. And the story gives the reader an inside look at Joe and his family as they deal with Joe's decline, and as his children have to make this decision on whether or not they will find out if they have the same gene and will maybe also have Huntington's. In my top 3 Lisa Genova books is Left Neglected, which was published in 2011. The topic of this one is a brain injury, and this is the story of Sarah Nickerson. She's a wife, a mom, and successful career woman. She's independent, confident, and in control of her life until one day everything changes. So from a brain injury, Sarah has what's called left neglect, which erases things to her left, and she can't see that. So this was the first time I had heard of something like this, and I thought that it was very interesting. Now Sarah has to learn how to take care of herself again, and that means not having control. And as she heals, she learns what's really important to her. These next two books could both easily be my number one. I'm going to go next with Every Note Played, which was published in 2018. And the topic of this one is ALS, or Lou Gehrig's disease. And Richard is the main character. He's such a flawed character. He's divorced from his ex-wife, Karina. And the main thing that he has going for him is his talent and fame as a pianist. Playing the piano and his music is part of who Richard is on a very deep level. So when he begins to lose the ability to use his hands, it's beyond devastating. This story is so beautifully written. It's about loss and forgiveness, dying and healing. And then finally, the book that Lisa Genova is most famous for is her debut novel, Still Alice, which was published in 2007. And this book focuses on early onset Alzheimer's. Alice is a wife, mother, and a Harvard professor. And this story is how Alice and her family deal with the diagnosis and everyday life as things progress. So once again, you're drawn into this story and into Alice's world. And I think what made this book such a big seller was that it was one of the first times a story was told from the perspective of the person with the disease. And it's written so well. Like the main characters in many of Lisa Genova's books, Alice is a strong, independent, very capable person, and all of that is taken away. So with all of these books, I was drawn into their stories and the lives of the characters immediately. Her books are page turners, really, with believable characters. They are heart-wrenching and incredibly moving stories. And I would highly recommend any of these books. So please let me know if you have read any books by Lisa Genova. Are you interested in reading any of them? If you have read them, which one is your favorite? Or let me know if you have read a book that is like this, which has made you feel like you were part of the family. That's kind of how I feel when I read these. I will leave a couple of links in the description box below to Lisa Genova's website and to a couple of TED Talks that she has done, which I have found interesting. So if you are interested in learning more or checking that out, please look for those links. Thanks again for watching. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and don't forget to make every day an adventure.